Why, hello there, and welcome back, beautiful listeners, to Engineering Chaos, a podcast where we sometimes talk about life as female engineers, give career advice to those coming up behind us, and talk about life in corporate America as it continues to screw us all. I might be trying to come up with something new for that because we've kind of changed the feel and vibe here, where we're
Yeah,
talking less about corporate life, more about just general engineering things.
yeah.
But to be
Well,
fair, the general engineering episodes are usually the episodes that do the best, right? Like our Am I the Asshole episodes are some of our best performing episodes.
but they're specific to engineering.
Yes and no, because the second one I did was more just coworker. Am I the asshole?
Oh, yeah, true.
I did a second one by myself when you were out for your surgery, I think, or maybe it was when you
Yeah,
were out over Christmas. I don't remember when I did it, but
whatever
I
one.
did do a second one. It was more like my coworker's the asshole or my company's an asshole. Um, so or like females being completely jaded.
Caddy? Oh.
Well, no. It was like the one in the one episode that I did was about the singular female engineer being treated like the token and having to go to all of the events for a small company
Oh?
because she
Yeah,
was the female and they wanted to not look like they were sexist pigs.
but they were. They were.
So
But that
that
doesn't make
those types
sense. If they're not going to hire that demographic, then why? Wh-
it wasn't that they wouldn't hire, it's that they didn't treat them well. And there
oh,
weren't
okay.
many of them. But they put all of the token, or as some people would call personality hires, at the events to make it look like they were more diverse than they were.
Okay, got it.
Anyways, that was ever ago. And still to this date, other than our Meet the Hosts, which anyone curious about the episode would go to the first episode, right? Our top performing episode is us bitching about Dragon Lady.
Yes, it is. Always.
So I feel like
Always.
as we approach our 1 year, we might have a revisit now that we're kind of disassociated from it. And because when we recorded that episode, we were still really close to it. I had just left.
Wish.
And I don't know, had you left yet?
I don't think so.
When we recorded that?
I don't think so. I,
No, you hadn't because you were in a town. You were in town for an event for them.
correct. Yes. You're
You
right.
hadn't left yet when we
I hadn't
recorded that.
left. Oh my god, you're right.
You were still like you were playing both teams at that point in time, so you weren't fully owned by them, but you
Yeah,
hadn't fully left yet either. That's kind of
correct.
wild.
And she reached out to me the other day.
I I I know this, but yeah, I don't. You were nicer than I because I would have just told her to get bent, personally speaking.
I don't
Granted,
like I don't like burning bridges. I just like ignoring bridges. Does that make sense?
I don't like burning bridges either. However, you still have leadership connections between because you are
Yeah.
still a part of the larger scale.
Yeah,
I don't. I have no connections. I can tell her to get bent.
true. I still have to play nice.
Or I could just ignore her, I think is more accurately what I would do. I wouldn't tell her. I would love to tell her to get bent, but I would just not answer her.
Yeah.
Now, if Tweedledum decided to message me for whatever idiotic reason, I definitely
No,
would tell him to get
I
bent.
wish we had the block button at work. Wouldn't that be so
You
nice?
can mute people
Oh,
so that you
yeah.
never get their notifications. I've done
No
that.
offense. I do that to you sometimes.
No, I know. I have
Because
a
he's like
squirrel brain.
spamming me, and I'm like, I'm so busy.
I can't finish a thought. It's not that I'm intentionally spamming you, it's just I
Oh,
can't
no.
finish a thought. So I will send 80 messages over the
No,
course
it's
of like 2 hours because I
no.
think of something else related to it.
I mean, it honestly helps. Um, cause like I know I have a lot of things going on in my brain, so I'm like, I need a brain vomit somewhere. And I feel like Teams is a really good place to do that. Cause like you can do it
Yeah.
in your own like separate chat, like where it's just you, and then you can just do it with your friends.
Exactly.
Just do it with everybody else.
Absolutely. No, for real. But speaking of corporate life, I do have an update that you know, but the listeners do not. I am going with the full remote team.
Woo!
I called into my first meetings with them this week, and it feels like going back to the program that I love the vibes. I didn't love that all of my leadership left. Or the
Oh, that one.
situation I
Okay.
was in with getting promoted. Because I loved that team. I didn't want to leave that team. I was going to
Yeah.
do anything I could to stay with that team because I
Right.
loved it. But they wouldn't promote me, and that was the only reason I left. But now a lot of this new team I'm going to is from that team and
Mhm.
has a very similar vibe. And I think it might be the type of product that is associated with these teams that makes the vibes just chill. Because I'll get to work with your old team too. So I'm actually kind
Oh,
of
yeah, yeah,
excited.
yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to
You
get to
know,
work with my old team, your old team. It's going to be great. I might even get to work with our old shared lead because she has gone somewhere else now that has a big connection to what I'm doing. So I'm excited.
yay.
No, and plus, right, we've talked about how I've had the full time remote status before on this podcast, but I have never been in a scenario where the whole team has that status,
Mhm.
where traveling while you're working is kind of just expected. And hours may be all over the place because people are different time zones and things like that.
Well, it's like mainly software. So like it's easy for it to just be remote. No?
Well, it is a chunk software, right? But it also is very heavy on the modeling front, the architect front,
Oh, yeah, but
because
that's
it's tying the
still,
two things together.
honey, that's still software. It is on a software program to do that.
It's also very
It's all digital.
testing heavy. Yeah, no, it is all
But
digital, but it
digital.
is very testing heavy.
Y'all have no hardware. No hardware? No
Yet.
hardware. Yet. Okay.
At the
But the
moment,
hardware
we
is like
don't have hardware.
2% of it. You
Yeah,
just
the
need
hardware
it.
isn't a big component of it, but there will be
No.
hardware in the future
Yeah.
involved. But again, because that hardware will just be at a location, you can just deal with it. You don't have to
Mm.
like be physically with it, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
You can do what you need to with it remotely and kick
Remote.
off whatever you need to with it
Mhm.
remotely, which is nice. But yeah, I get a full-time remote team. Also, I found it really funny because my first call in, their team lead didn't know kind of like what teams I've been around and what I'm used to.
Mhm.
So when they all started spamming memes in our work group chat, he felt the need to apologize for it. I was like, "Oh
Why?
no, I'm used to these guys. This is what they did the whole time I worked with them previously. Like, I'm used to it. This is
Mhm.
my vibe. I'm used to
I mean,
it."
that's what me and my coworkers do all the time. We
Yeah,
have
but they
like
like
a
generate their own memes for the team
yes,
and stuff like that.
correct. Correct. Yes,
It's
no,
great.
we do that too. We do that too. It's
But those are
hilarious.
my people, right? I
Yes.
like when you don't take things too seriously and we can kind of
Yeah.
just goof
A
and be
a
like,
job is a
yeah,
job, man.
like the guy that I'm replacing on his way out was basically like, I'm sure she'll be a lot better at this than I was.
Oh fuck.
But like I've worked with him specifically for I worked with him like 2 years on the very small component of that program that we worked on. Like I worked directly with him a lot. We
Oh.
kind of did
Okay.
a flip flop. When I left to go work for Dragon Lady, he took over for me. And now he's leaving to go
Mm.
work for a different company and I'm taking over for him. So,
That's funny.
the very few people I keep in my circle because they're chill end up helping me out in the end.
Good.
Because yeah, I mean, I knew he was on that program, so I wasn't like using him. He was one of my favorite people to work with. But I would check in and be like, "Hey, do y'all have anything open?" Because I knew that program is very exclusive.
Mhm.
So when he mentioned he was leaving, he's like, "I'll put you in for it if you're still interested." I'm like, "Yes. Yes, I am."
Mhm.
I will
1000%,
gladly
please.
take over for you. So I'm
Mhm.
excited. It'll be an upward learning curve, partially just because they have like 80,000 models. So as a like the architecture nerd that hasn't done software in 2 years now,
Hold on. Models or diagrams?
models.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
me.
But there is a
Jesus.
purpose for why they have so many. Like it
Well,
does make sense.
yeah.
It is well maintained as well and very well connected. It's not a
I mean, it's a
disorganized mess.
no, but it's a lot.
But
It's
it's
a
a
lot.
lot to
It's a
keep up with and figure
lot.
out and be like, what does this do? What does that do? Because they all are very interconnected,
You're okay.
right?
So you're
If
talking
one
about.
breaks,
You're not
like the
talking.
whole thing
You're,
breaks.
you're okay, but you're not talking about um our system engineering models. You're talking
No, I
about.
am. For each like script model you're thinking of, there is a cameo model. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot, but I'm excited.
That's a lot of MDZip files.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Uh it is a lot and it's all interconnected, so if someone messes up one piece, this is why this team is also really small because if you put a lot of hands in that, it's going to get
Oh,
really
it's gonna get
complicated
messy.
really quickly.
Which is what's happening now with my team.
Especially with like how Cameo works when you have models integrated with other models. If you don't have that integration set up kind of from the beginning, it
Oh
then
god,
gets
it's a
really messy
nightmare.
because people, yeah.
And then you have to like redo things.
But that's exactly why I set up the model that we worked on together the way I did, because I knew had I not set it all up from the beginning, it would get really, really messy. I wanted the
What?
game plan for how the multiple models would get generated in the future
Hold
because
on.
it gets messy otherwise.
You had it. You had it down textually of what to do. I'm the one who built it.
I created the plan. I had concepts of a plan.
I had concepts of a plan.
I was the lead. I wasn't supposed to be the one
I'm not
building
the
it.
president yet. But if I was, I'd make sure it'd be better
I
and
did make it
cheaper.
better, to be fair. Cheaper, I don't know, but no.
You can only get so cheap in that. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I'm
Mm,
moving
yay.
on. I won't be fully I'll be working two jobs basically for the next month and a half, but that's fine. I don't really care. I'm used to that. I started sharing my challenge with myself as daily little updates, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking of doing something slightly extreme. And that is using this channel to do, because I have named the challenge Chaos and Fuckery.
Okay.
Because I have kind of deemed myself the queen of chaos and fuckery because that's just
Yes.
my life. My
Yes.
brand is chaos. Like my fitness business is chaos fitness. This podcast, I named it with chaos for a reason because I wanted. It's literally my my LLC is the chaos umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wanted to be able to have all of the different entities of chaos. My
Yeah.
Discord is the chaos realm because I'm putting all of the chaos together, right? So, what I want to do, Because I have joked for a long time now that I am kind of losing where I want to go with content. And if
You gotta
everything I
pivot.
ever no, it's
You
not
gotta
even a
you always
pivot.
have to pivot.
But for me, if everything I ever did came from something that I did in a long form environment, right? If I did a podcast every day or if I did a stream every day
Oh,
and
you
I
have
could
so
just
much
clip it
content.
down,
Yeah.
my life would be so much easier because then I could
Right.
just throw funny things like the Trump audio that's floating around. I can throw that in, do that in
Fucking
15
love that.
seconds. I don't have to
Fucking
think
love
about
that.
that shit. Like I
No,
can film that in 2 seconds, right?
exactly.
And add little like multi posts because I know TikTok
And that's
rewards
what I
multi
did.
posts.
You saw mine, right?
I saw yours, but be real, did that come after I tagged you in one I did for this channel? Or did you find that audio on your own?
A little bit of both. Because I had found that audio on my own and I was like, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna do it. And then I saw
Because
you
you
did
used the
it.
longer version.
I did, but like it it was just so accurate to what I was doing in that moment because I am actually building a proposal.
Yeah.
So
Concepts
that
of a plan is just how I function as an engineer. Let's be real.
I have concepts of a plan.
Because I used it on both channels. I used it on my personal, like on my fitness channel, and I used it on this one. I just did it on 2 different days because
Yeah.
I didn't want to post the same lighting, same outfit on both channels at the same time. So I just delayed one.
Oh my
I
goodness.
recorded them both at the same time. But again, like
That's
stuff
so
like
funny.
that's easy.
Yeah.
It's the how do I give advice as a fitness coach, like that kind of stuff. I would rather just record podcast episodes, for lack of a better way of putting it, and let an AI software clip it all down for me.
Do it.
So, what I think now that I'm doing these daily little vloggy thingies is
Mhm.
I'm gonna start like at some point during the day, I'm just gonna kick up a mini-sode, right? And put those on my YouTube channel just to follow the chaos and fuckery. So it's a little bit longer than the vlogs, right? I'm trying to keep the vlogs to like 1 minute. Like they're not supposed to be super long detailed things of my whole day.
Oh.
But if I do like a podcast episode, I can get into the deep of how I'm feeling about these rules that I created for myself, how I'm doing with them and things like that. And I can kind of talk about from like my perspective as a coach those different things. And I can do more cutting of my streams too, because I do like just chatting things on Fridays a lot, where I just kind of go off on random tangents and things like that.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking about using my long form stuff a lot more and just kind of letting the camera run rather than recording specific short form stuff to ease up my kind of realm.
I think it would be easier. Yeah, it would probably be easier on both sides. I'm like easier on the filming side, easier on the editing side too.
Well, so like the mini-sodes, right? I wouldn't really edit them. It's not like with this where I have to cut out the backgrounds. I have to do like clip cutouts because we doxed ourselves or something stupid like that. Obviously,
Yeah.
I would cut out anything stupid I said accidentally. But when I did solo episodes when you were out, I didn't edit those really at all. I kind of cut dead space, and if I, like, my husband walked in or something, I would cut it out. But
Yeah.
that was about the extent of the editing I did on those. And the
Yeah.
clips from those did really well on all platforms, which was even weirder.
Ooh.
Because usually TikTok and YouTube do not agree with each other. If it does really
No.
well on TikTok, it doesn't do really well on YouTube.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so the clips when I did those solo episodes kind of made me realize that I can talk for like 30 to 45 minutes by myself on a random topic.
Mhm.
But this will also kind of like open up the gates of me as a coach behind the scenes
Yeah.
without me really having to do a lot of work. So
It's gonna be great. Do it.
I won't post the minis. The one thing I'm trying to decide is obviously I'm going to post the minisodes to my personal YouTube channel, right? But do I post an audio only to this channel as like minisodes every day, and then we have our regular episodes every week?
What do you mean audio only? That doesn't make sense. Why would it
Well,
be
the
audio
video
only?
would go on my YouTube, right? But we have the audio only channels for this podcast,
Oh, you're talking okay, got it. All right.
right? So I would have like chaos and fuckery like minisodes every day to keep this
Can
channel
we
active, and then we'd have
I
our
mean, can we
regular
wouldn't we
chaos
need to
episodes every week.
wouldn't we wouldn't but wouldn't we need to change the name?
No, you can just change the like titles, right? I've seen one of the bigger podcasts, right? iHeartRadio, for some reason recently started because like you can change the cover art for each episode, right? If I created a different
Yeah.
cover art for the
Yeah.
chaos and fuckery ones, I can
Uh-huh.
change it for each individual episode type. But
Wait, so
for
you and I are the chaos and fuckery
we
or
are engineering chaos, but the mini-sodes that I would post related to my chaos and fuckery challenge would
okay,
be like the new art chaos and fuckery. I just don't want to create a whole new
channel.
podcast channel
Yeah.
because the video content will go on my YouTube, my
Mhm.
fitness YouTube.
Mhm.
It's do I put the audio out? And I might just play around, see how the video does on YouTube, and then see if I want to put the audio out. Because sometimes people do like to just listen to random ramblings, like daily little mini-sodes, right? It's not going to be more than 30 minutes, these little daily things.
Oh, okay.
So they're literally mini-sodes. They're not full episodes, which is why I don't want like a whole
Are you sure you can limit
extra
yourself to
channel.
just 30 minutes?
For this kind of stuff where I'm doing it daily, yes. Because I mean,
Okay.
even my solo episodes where I had full ass topics were only an hour and a half. And some of my just chatting like rants on stream are usually only like 45 minutes.
It's only 45 minutes.
Well,
I
I'm
just
usually
rant
ranting about a specific topic
only 40. Correct. That's
in the
what makes
fitness
it worse.
space.
That's what makes it worse is that you're ranting for 45 minutes about one.
It's so easy to do with the fitness space though because it's so fucked right now
It is. It
that
is.
and some people inside of it refuse to acknowledge how fucked it is. That
Oh, they're
is
just
the
so dirty.
thing. Is right like a podcast I've listened to for years. And I hate because their fitness advice is so good, but I won't recommend it to people because they've gotten so political with like their just general conversation, which like to each their own. You can have your own opinion. But
Is it
this
the same
like the
podcast you sent me?
mind pump,
Yeah,
yeah. They've
it's
gotten
them.
really, really political lately, and I'm
I
not a
knew it.
fan.
I knew it.
Like I knew they were a little more conservative from the start listening to
I
them,
could
right? But
tell. Yeah.
one
Now it's
member
getting a
in
little bit too.
particularly has gone a little crazy.
Uh, have they been a little bit misogynistic?
No, they're really good about that.
Okay.
They're not misogynistic. It's just more like, for instance, they had a conversation about the Olympic opening games, right? And I was talking to my
Um,
mom about this yesterday when we were at Disney.
I didn't watch it, so what happened?
A lot of people with the Olympic opening ceremonies took an imagery that the French created in their opening ceremony thing as a
Uh-huh.
jab at the Last Supper. They thought it was a jab at Christianity.
Oh,
The funny thing is it was really only people here in the US that were like up in arms about it
yeah.
because there was like a trans individual, I think, in the imagery and drag queens and things like that. And they're like, it's a jab at the Last Supper. You're taking a jab at Christianity and putting like non Christian things in this imagery. It was never meant to be the Last Supper, from my understanding. But
Mhm.
also, I was telling my mom, I was like, it's maybe just because y'all traveled me really well. I was really well traveled from a young age. I saw all
Correct.
sorts of different cultures,
Mhm.
but the audacity for Americans to think that an event that is based in Greek culture and held by the French this year has that much concern for American politics that they would openly take a jab on the world stage is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Hold on. So I'm trying to look right now. How how is No, that's not the Last Supper.
Again, anyone who has studied art history has a
Is the
decent amount of
is
culture.
is the blue man with the yellow beard, is he supposed to be the food?
He's supposed to be like, I don't want to say I don't think Dionysus is the right Greek god, but he's a Greek god. From what
Oh,
I
got it.
understanding, it's supposed to be a representation of a different art history piece. I don't remember off the top of my head, so I don't want to speak misinformation into the ether, but it the blue man is very significant because of the fact that it was supposed to represent a different piece of art and he is in that other piece of art.
Right.
Um However, even if it was supposed to represent the Last Supper, right? For people here to assume that other cultures care about our culture wars and our politics that much to take a jab on the world stage, just to be assholes, to jab at
Mhm.
Christianity is kind of absurd to me. And how self-obsessed are you and uncultured, for lack, I don't want to say uncultured, but to me, like, the world isn't obsessed with what we're doing. Like, America is not the only country in the world and we're not the only culture in the world.
Oh, by the way, I'm reading an article. Apparently India didn't like it either.
Conservative countries, maybe, is the way to put it. um
Maybe.
there were a lot of people
Well,
that are
but
like,
yeah,
if you've studied
disrespectful.
art history at all, you wouldn't have assumed it was the Last Supper, kind of thing.
Yeah. Who studies art history though?
A lot of people do.
I
That's
don't.
not the point. The point
I
being
don't.
is that your immediate thought is it's an attack on Christianity as the Americans know it as well, because Christianity is different in all sorts of different cultures. It's different in Roman
Yes.
culture. It's different in the UK even.
Yes.
Um so to assume, and like, right, a big topic of was putting a transgender member in that imagery. There are other countries that are having similar rights conversations when it comes to transgender individuals, but a lot of
Mhm.
countries could not give two shits.
Well, they got other
Like,
problems. They got
the
other problems to
war
deal with.
the war on transgenderism is very limited to certain countries, right? Some just outright ban it. Fine, whatever, that's your country's decision. But like, the amount of conversation surrounding it is very this country and a few other developed countries in Europe, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um so to assume that the French, who already have kind of a twisted sense of humor to begin with, would purposely take a jab at American pop, like, it's silly. It's And on top of that, it's art. I get really frustrated as someone who is very into the arts and has been around the arts my entire life when people can't tell the difference between like political commentary and art.
Yeah.
Yes, some art pieces do have commentary involved in them, but they're
It's
still
not the whole
just
point.
art.
Yup.
They're an
Don't get so
expression
offended
of
over
something.
art. Exactly.
Like, drag queens are expressing themselves and however they feel like. And that's the other thing that I
It's
also
an
kind of
art form.
frustrates me is a lot of people don't know the difference between a drag queen and a M to
Transgender.
F transgender.
Mhm.
They are very different things. Yes, some drag queens do eventually
Some.
transition, and that's them, that's their path, but a lot don't.
Mhm. Yeah.
Drag is an art form.
for them, yeah. It is
Also,
like an
there are
outlet.
drag kings, but no one talks about them.
No.
It's
I remember
always
when
like
drag kings were controversial. The
like
controversial.
and again, that's kind of my thing with like I love the fitness advice. When Mind Pump talks fitness, and some like even now they're getting kind of funky on that too sometimes. It's like, "Hi, we get it. You're obsessed with like big food kind of thing." Like they constantly talk about how like processed food is the devil, and it seems a little disconnected from reality to me sometimes just because yes, processed food is not the best. I'm not going to say go eat piles of processed food because it's hyper palatable. However, when you live in reality, you realize that some people
Convenience
probably can't
sometimes.
afford
Yep,
more than the processed stuff or
correct. This is what I
convenience.
was trying to explain to my ex, and he just didn't get it. He's like, fruit and vegetables are cheaper. And I'm like, I don't think you understand.
Well, some people like demonize frozen versions of fruits and vegetables too.
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
god.
bitch, please. Like, I literally would not ever get through any produce ever if I had to, other than berries, maybe. If I
I
had to
know.
buy everything fresh and could never freeze it. It's no different if you
It
buy
goes
it fresh
bad
and
so
freeze it
quick.
yourself. It's no
Yeah.
different. Like, sometimes it's cheaper too.
Yep.
So, like, to be so disconnected from reality that, like, you demonize processed foods and say, if I had a client, this is the first thing I would tell him cut out the processed foods. That is
Well, they can
not
sure if they want
reality.
to if they want to demonize the food, that's fine, but I hate when they start demonizing the people for eating the food.
They're good about not doing that. I will give credit where credit is due. They're
Okay.
not the type of coaches that, because they've all had their own individual struggles and they talk about that all the time. This is why I like their fitness advice. But lately,
Mhm.
it's just gotten a little extreme in some cases with like the processed foods or like sugar is one of them. He knows he has issues with sugar, so he talks about that a lot. And that's fine. It's when they start like demonizing the whole food group as a whole. Like if you have issues with it, that is fine. You can talk about that, but don't say other people who don't have issues controlling themselves around sugar shouldn't have it when they can control it, right?
Yeah.
Cuz like sugar is not my thing. It's just not. I prefer the taste of artificial sweeteners, ironically enough. Like,
Hold on.
so,
Except for the apple crisp from Starbucks.
but that's not about the sugar. It's about the like novelty. For me, novelty is
It's
my
the
biggest problem.
delectable.
If it's seasonal, then I
Oh,
don't,
oh god.
calories don't matter anymore if it's seasonal.
I know, but like here's the thing, everything is seasonal now and there's always seasonal
But I
sugar.
only like
Always.
fall and winter. Like, I don't like the summer. And like,
Um
for me, my seasonal is fall and winter. And also because I like hot coffee,
yeah,
I have to drive to
it's
go get it.
mhm.
So for me, I don't go like it is really a treat for me because I have to be near a
Yeah.
Starbucks to go get it. Because I don't like Dunkin' coffee either. Like I can't
R.I.P. Sorry,
I've
Duncan.
tried and I don't like it. Even their hot coffee, I don't like it. So
Sorry, Duncan. Yeah,
if
no, I don't like their coffee a whole lot either.
I also could make the apple crisp with artificial sweeteners at home if I really wanted to. The syrup's not that hard to make. Um
Yeah, but
But it's again about the novelty of it. It's not
yeah,
about the drink itself. It does taste good, but it's about the novelty, the seasonal, the getting in the vibes kind of thing.
not
And
having
at
to
that
make it
point,
yourself.
I'm not having it like every day, right? Everything's
Yeah,
fine in moderation. I'm not like addicted to it that I need it every day kind of thing. Well, this, however, I don't need it every day, but
but
I
that's
do
sugar
like
free.
them.
That's fine.
Actually, it's not. Actually, no,
Oh,
it is.
but it's got
That's a lie. It's got sugar alcohol.
this
It's
sugar
got
free.
artificial sweeteners in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Um,
there's no sugar.
doesn't have added sugar in it.
Nice.
Um,
Okay.
So like some of their fitness advice is a little crazy though, because they'll be like, just do this. And I'm like, that's not realistic for a lot of people.
Well, for okay, so that and then they also say like if you don't do this, you're not going to do it. You're not going to lose weight. If you don't do this, you're not going to build muscle. And I'm like,
To a certain extent, some of those
why
things
is
are
it
true,
like
right?
black and white? Sometimes it's a combination of things. Sometimes it depends on literally biology.
It does, and I do. There are some of their partners and people that they like speak to that are experts and stuff that are better about towing that line, in my opinion. So I will listen to certain people they bring on, because
Mhm.
the reality is every individual that I coach, that they coach, is different, and they recognize that. I recognize that. However, they're a podcast that is giving advice to millions, so they go with the general 80% that they've seen in their clients versus the 20. And that's the thing with
Yeah.
content creation in the fitness space in general, is we speak in absolutes because that's what
The
sells,
majority. That's the
for
majority.
lack of a
No.
better way of putting it.
But like I I
Which is why the fitness space is so confusing, because we all have our own absolutes, right? A lot of us
yeah.
will speak on the absolutes that worked for us and does work for the clients that hire us, because, right? We're not going to give you every detail of our secret formula, for lack of a better way of putting it, out on the internet. We're not going to
Mhm.
tell you all of the modifications we make for each individual client, because A, that would take centuries, and B, that stuff's not sexy. And I hate that. I hate that about the fitness space. I would
But here's
love
the thing.
if being real and saying, I don't fucking know, actually sold, but it doesn't.
Here's the thing. I like the niche creators that are essentially creating it for a specific group of people. So like pots, for example, because I have it. We'll go with that. Um, I want to try to find a POTS specific, like fitness, food, health related.
I know several.
I oh good, send them to me.
I mean, I'll ask my coaching group because I trust them more than random people on the internet, but
Yeah.
um I will poke around with my, because I know my coaching group has a wide variety of different people that they specialize in. Some are in like
Yeah.
geriatrics, some
But
are
when you
in
specialize,
Paralympic type people. One
oh,
is specialized with people with brain injuries. Like
oh damn.
one
Yeah,
is like a
but when you
personal chef
specialize, you kind of
too.
like when you specialize, you kind of cap out.
Yes and no. It really depends.
I mean, as the population grows, I guess you can just keep
Because just
growing
because your
too. But
content is specialized on specific people doesn't mean you can't coach general people, right? You
true.
can say you focus on people over 40 because that's what your content is, but um as my business coach kind of explains it, I don't want to give away his secret sauce either, but he says that it's tiers of clients, right? You have your ideal client, and then you have other tiers that you're willing to take for different things, right? Some coaches do
Mm,
one-on-one, but they also do group coaching, right? If you're not quite ready to drill down and be direct one-on-one, you may feel comfortable with a group because you just need that little bit of accountability.
mm-hmm.
So there are different tiers, and each of us as coaches, this is giving a little bit behind the scenes of how we work as coaches.
Yes.
We have what we want is our ideal people. These are the people we want to work with. We would love it. It would be the easiest day of my life to ever work with these types of people.
Mm-hmm.
The client that I have right now, I love her dearly. She is my favorite. Like, I love working with her. Like, she's no bullshit. She gives me real. Like, she doesn't try to fake me out and be like, no, but I did it. She's just like, I fucked up this week. And I'm like, I love that. Thank you.
Is
Like,
she
I could
is
tell,
she the
but
one
I
who's
love it.
been your client for like long time?
Yeah, I've had her for, I think, a
Yeah,
year and a half now.
that's
Um,
awesome.
and so, and we've gotten results. We've had to try different things too, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the nutrition aspect, certain people do
It's
really well with tracking and macros and everything else. At the beginning,
I
I'm
do
going to have every
terrible.
client do that so I get an example, right? I need to know where you're at. And it
Right.
sucks because I don't like tracking myself.
Oh, I fucking
Like,
hate it.
I don't do
It's the
it
worst.
very
It's
often
just
because
stressful.
it not only is it stressful to some people, especially with
It's
tools that
triggering.
don't have the barcode.
Yeah.
MyFitnessPal, I'm looking at you. Why they put the barcode behind a paywall is
Hold
annoying
on,
as
wait, wait,
shit.
wait. No, I have a great app, and it's a bariatric, and it's bariatric focused, but it's still the same exact, like, and it has the free
I
scanner and completely
When I
free.
was at that conference I was at in April, I met a group that has an app. The only issue I have with them right now is they don't integrate. My coaching app platform is being an a-hole and not working the contract
Integrating.
to integrating them, because I would have all of my clients on this app. It's called Macros First. I've
Yeah.
played around with it myself and I love it. It's got the barcode. 90% of their features are free, which is
Mhm.
another thing I love. But I, as a coach who is through the network and things like that I'm in, can get like discounts and stuff with them for all of their like paid features and get a bunch of different metrics and stuff as a coach. It just doesn't play nice with my coaching app right now. And at this point in time, I don't want to change my coaching app because I like it.
You know.
And it's a pain in the ass to change coaching apps.
I
But
don't know.
that actually kind of
I hated that coaching app.
it's better than
No
the one I
lie.
was using
So
before.
sorry. I
Like, it
mean,
is
yeah.
better than the one I was using before for sure, but it's not perfect. No coaching app is perfect, which is
It's a cleaner user interface for sure, but
but it brings me to my engineering topic. It is
oh, let's
engineering
go.
related. So I've been
Oh
talking
wow.
about how I want to build my own game, but I came up with a different idea.
Oh, okay.
And usually, right, a lot of fitness coaches have talked, even Mind Pump has talked about how they won't get into the app space because it's expensive to develop and doesn't make any money.
Okay.
Me, as a software engineer, it's not expensive for me to develop because
Because you
it's
know how
me.
to. Right. Okay. Fair. But there's not the
I
second
work
part.
with gamers, right?
But the second part.
I'm not putting mine in the market. I'm not trying to make money off of it. I'm trying to
Oh.
improve the experience with my clients. Because a
Oh.
lot of the apps out there, like you said, a lot of clients don't like it. But because I work with gamers, right? We're into the tech space, we're nerdy. What I want to do, and this I will have to get huge to build a partnership like this,
Oh
but
yeah.
I want to build a VR app
Ooh, ooh.
for my clients where when a client signs up with me, I will give them a gift card essentially to go get a headset from Meta is probably who I prefer the Oculus headsets over any other headset I've owned. I've owned a few, and at this point in time, either the Meta Quest Pro or the new 3 with augmented reality would be the platform I would develop for.
Mhm.
Meta's development is also open source. So I, as just a regular human being, can develop for their VR platform and test my own environment and things like that without really having to work that hard. It's similar to the iOS store, or how the iOS store used to be, where you can kind of develop apps and put them out in the ether and see what happens.
Right.
But my idea is, right, the thing with coaching apps right now is it's a lot of stagnant. Either clients are sending you videos, it's chat, it's not super personalized, and it's hard to kind of get that connection with clients right now. Some people do really great. I kind of have a clientele that do really great in that connection place on the chat features and things like that. I've been one of the coaches. Most coaches don't sell in DMs. I do, because a lot of my clients are socially anxious and don't like to get on Zoom calls and things like that. I always give them the option, like, hey, like, if you don't mind, like, I was like, I'll give you the option. We can get on a call and we can talk through this, or we can just ask questions and go back and forth here in the DMs. And
Mhm.
without fail, everyone who has ever talked to me has wanted to stay in the
DMs.
DMs. So,
Mhm.
and it's the same when they come in and be clients. I always give them the option, do you want to do weekly check ins where we set up a Zoom call every week and talk? Or do you want to be on an as needed with the Zoom calls? And then I will give you feedback in video or chat or memes, whatever it is. And that's also what the Discord is, too. I have a secret channel in the Discord specifically for my clients.
Mhm.
So as I get new clients, now that I have the Discord up and running again, they'll come into that secret channel and they can have their own community to chat with each other, as
Oh.
well as chat with my big larger community and sell for me, essentially.
Yeah.
Because they can be in the main Discord as well as chat with my private paid group, basically.
Mhm.
But the app side, I would give all of my clients a VR headset so they could utilize this app, right? If they don't want to, they don't have to, but that would be kind of an addition to signing up as a client. Their gift would
Oh,
be
dope.
getting their headset if they didn't already have one.
Damn.
And then I would develop this app so that it is a kind of hangout space, right? We have VR chat and things like that for not only like clients can come in and chat with each other with their avatars and they can create their
Right.
avatars however they want, but I can have private rooms essentially inside of this space where clients can show me their form, because with augmented reality I can be in this space with them and they can do like a squat. It won't be weighted, but I can see how they're moving without them being in a gym, right? I can see how they're moving at home, see the movement to see if they're doing anything unweighted before they put weights on. Or they can have a private chat with me about nutrition that's not just Zoom camera to camera. We have like actual facials and hand movements, and you can see how I'm interacting and they can see how they're like the visual cues, right? We all talk about social cues. You can see those things better
Body language.
with body language. Yeah. So, but I would have private rooms so that if they want to have a secret conversation, but they can also all hang out in the headset. Obviously, they can get their workouts in the headset. So, I could partner with something like FitXR, right? If they don't want to
Mhm.
use a gym, I could partner with an app like FitXR and be one of their coaches and create my own workouts in
Yeah.
that app.
Okay.
Or I could do
Okay.
guided workouts similar to FitXR, but live inside the VR headset with my clients, right? Body weight. We could do funny little Zumba dancing ones or whatever.
I have a question.
And they
Is
like,
is this idea as a replacement to your physical location gym that you wanted to create?
no, because my physical
Okay.
location gym is a dance studio. It's completely
Right.
separate from like regular fitness gym stuff. I
Mhm.
will have like a training room in that studio for physical therapy and extra weights. Like if I have boys in gymnastics, they like to do actual real training on top of like rings and pommel horse and things like that.
Mhm.
um but the dance studio, it would be like 3 or 4 studios, like wood floor dance
Combined.
studio, mirror, proper dance studio, and then a gymnastics gym that has all of the equipment with a
Mhm.
back room that would have like physical therapy type spaces. Because I know a lot of kids struggle that when they're injured, they just want to be, they don't want to get out of their routine, right? Some of them still come to the studio when they're injured. And having that physical therapy space to go
Is
to
better.
would still have them coming to the studio, being around their friends. Because I know, like, if I was ever injured, I lost my friend group as a kid. Like, my
Oh,
friend group was at my studio.
yeah.
So having that space to be able to still come in, say hi to your friends, hang out in between classes, things like that. They can go to physical therapy at the gym. I would have the physical therapist in that people can work with. Um, on top of, I would partner with people like my chiropractor, who already handles a lot of dancers and gymnasts when they get injured and things like that. And then all of my dance teachers, because I think this is a big component. I would partner with who I got my nutrition cert from, and I work a lot with them already, anyways. So they would probably be willing to do something for me. I would partner with them to get all of my coaches trained at a base level in nutrition coaching, so that if
Mhm.
we have dancers that are struggling with weight and eating for performance and things like that, that they have the training that they need to have that conversation, because a lot of dance teachers don't.
Okay.
So these would
So
be two
all
separate things.
separate ideas. Okay. Okay.
I always planned when I opened my brick and mortar to keep the gamer fitness thing going, because it is mostly online, right? I do enjoy
Mhm.
coaching people as a fitness coach, but the studio is just like a big pipe dream, like the physical
Yeah.
location. I think a lot of
One,
spaces need reform. And dance is one that's close to my heart because I grew up in that studio. So
I think one will come before the other.
I'm going to work the app development now.
Yeah, cuz you can.
Yeah. And I have no deadlines either, right? This is me just pipe dream idea to make my like the experience with my clients better, right? I don't
Yeah.
have to pay developers. I can work on it, play around with it, test it in my own environment. I don't have to have tons of cash flow to develop an app because I know how to, right? Plus everything's on YouTube.
She's smart, guys.
I want to improve the client experience, right? And because of that, I work with techie nerds. VR is not something that they're going to complain about.
No. It's
And
like, oh, you
it
don't
wouldn't
actually
work
get to
with,
see me. You see my avatar. Okay.
yeah, if my clientele was different, it wouldn't work. It would be a dumb idea. But because
But
of
your
who
clientele
I
are
work
gamers.
with,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it works because it's a video game too, right? We could create a leaderboard style inside of that app. But the difference
Get a
is it
little
wouldn't
competitive.
be open, right? It would be a closed app. I'm not trying to make money off of it.
No.
Because that's the other thing is when you have to pay developers, you want your app to make money.
So
That's not what I
how do
wanted.
you keep it a closed app?
Just don't put it on the marketplace. You can give people download files or like download keys,
Oh.
right?
Yeah,
That's
you're
how
right.
people
Okay.
put out demos. With the creation of something like Patreon, right? You can get people to buy into the game on Kickstarter, maybe, and give them an initial
Mm.
demo. And then as time goes on and you're developing the game, you can give them
Little snippets.
demos
Mm-hmm.
so that they can get into the app itself or the game
Cool.
itself. It's the same thing. Like I have a demo game that I'm playing on Steam right now because
This
I
is sounding
supported
a
their
lot like
Patreon.
work right now.
So, and it's the same thing with like mods. You can install mods on Steam, but not everybody has to install the mod, right? You're not changing the
Mm-hmm.
game. You're not buying the game again to buy the mods, right? So, you can give people download keys. It would basically forever be at a development stage unless I wanted to release it wide for like other coaches to use or something like that.
Ah.
That would be how I would eventually make money off of it is creating a subscription so that other coaches could create their own spaces to work with clients.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's more just starting with my clients so that I have a more community based situation with them and I can
Yes.
see them do movement and be in spaces with
Watch them.
them and have conversations with them with
Yes.
avatars and things like that. Because I
A
know
safe
like
space.
some gamers are VTubers, right? They're not going to want
Mm-hmm.
to send you real videos of themselves.
No.
Especially like right if I worked with a VTuber and I wanted to share anything about their results, I would dox them if I did that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have like because of the space I'm in, I have to think about things like that. How do I show that I'm hanging like working with a VTuber because you can put your VTuber models in VR so that you can make
Yeah.
the VTuber the avatar. You
Exactly.
would never know it's them. And they could be VTuber instead of them. Them.
Yes.
Obviously, there
Yes.
are
Yes. Yes.
some things that they're going to have to share with me, right? Your VTuber model's not going to adjust with your weight loss, right? But those would be private things that are shared in private spaces that no one else would see.
Yeah. No, not
Because I'm not going to dox
that's.
VTuber friends, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
silly. If just because I worked with a big, like, this is really silly. I mean, she's come out and been like open in videos now, but this is a really large creator that doesn't need any help, but it's stuck in my head right now. If I worked with Jaden Animations for a really long time, she was just her animations and her VTuber model when she streamed. She didn't put herself publicly online. Now she does, but
Gotcha.
for a really long time she didn't.
Well, that's what I wanted to do.
Animations?
Oh no, I just wanted. I didn't want to be on camera
Oh yeah.
for the
I told
pod.
you I would commission a VTuber model for you, but you eventually just got comfortable with being on camera, so
Well, I was just like, it's a lot of work. People already know what my face looks like. Mwah.
VTuber models aren't that. It's more. I think you would get confused setting up the tech for a VTuber
Yes, I
model.
would, because I'm stupid
Even
when
a
it comes to
PNG
software.
model, I think, would confuse you. Because there
A
are
what?
PNG tubers. People
I
will take
know.
like one of their emotes and make them like little talking heads, basically,
Yeah,
so that it's not like a fully tracked VTuber model, but
right. Oh yeah, so it's like the on Apple where you can like change your you can
yeah,
like talk and
like
then it
that.
moves the face thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
but it's like a picture. Yeah.
Maybe
They have that for Discord now, which I think is kind of cool. That's the overlay I want to get for when we play like Phasmophobia and stuff like that. Is they have these this tech pack called Fugi, and you could take one of your emotes and make them like talk as people are talking in Discord. It's so cute.
cute.
But I just found out about it recently because I've seen a lot of streamers using it, and I'm like, what the heck is that? And they kept saying Fugi, and I thought it was just like a silly little name. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, that's actually what the tech pack is called.
Yeah. Out.
So, but yeah, that's my little engineering. I want to build that app, and I think I'm gonna start playing around with
Fuck
VR
around,
because I
find
want
out.
to work with VR anyways. Like, I want to learn how to build environments and things in VR.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start working on something that will actually benefit me, right? Also
That'd be
Beat Saber
wild.
maps, but Beat Saber maps are fun.
Yeah.
That's just fun.
Yeah, that's
Um,
just fun.
that's my little engineering minute, I guess, because
I love it.
I'm very excited. 'Cause I feel like coding for VR is going to be very different than even like application development or anything of like regular video game modding
Mm-hmm.
because it is a lot more 3D spatial and the like tracking and things like that. The code for that is going to be very interesting to crack into. I don't think I'll have to do much with track code because I think that's mostly in like the sensors and stuff in the headset itself. But
Mm-hmm.
it'll be interesting to see how much of that I'll have to do to build
So
like an immersive platform.
what platform do you build it off of? Because I don't know it. Does Unreal Engine have a VR
I would assume so,
option?
but
Ow.
that's all research I'm gonna have to do. Like VR development is completely new to me. I want to
Oh
do
yeah.
it, but it's completely new to me.
Do they even
And
have a
like,
platform that's like an
yeah.
easy the one that's a public
Oh
platform?
yeah. No, I mean, Beat Saber modding, right? That's VR. It's all VR. And you have to create new
Yeah.
maps and things like that is all like publicly accessible. Like it's a mod group, right? They have all
Yeah,
the
but that's a
files and
mod.
stuff.
I'm saying like an entire platform so you can just like create
Yeah, but when you're
a whole
creating a
new
new
game.
map, it's not really like a mod, right? You're creating a whole new map. You have to create the notes, you have to create the barriers, you have to create like put in bombs and stuff. It's a blank slate map, sure, but
Sure,
that
yeah. But
engine you
I'm
can still kind of get from the idea of starting there, right?
mhm.
Um and again, it's all developer mode, right? I can go to Quest developer forums and things like that and figure out what other people are using because there are a lot of developers on the Quest platform. So much so that
So
they
many.
created a specific mode for the headset because there's enough of us that do mods and our own apps and things like that.
Quest is owned by which one? Which
Meta,
company?
unfortunately.
Um okay.
It is unfortunate, but they're the best headset in the game right now. I don't.
That's so weird. Cuz
Oculus
like
wasn't originally owned by Meta when the headset originally came out, but now it is.
Oculus is owned by Meta
They
now.
are now. They weren't originally.
So Oculus and Quest are now owned by Meta.
Well, it's Oculus Quest.
Oh, okay, thank you.
The headset is a Quest 1, 2, 3. Oculus
Okay.
is the VR platform.
You know, I don't know shit. I don't know shit about shit, okay?
Oculus is who used to own it. Now it's MetaQuest. I just call it Oculus
Okay.
because I'm used to calling it Oculus. I bought my headset before Meta bought Oculus. So I'm just used to calling
Okay.
it Oculus.
Okay.
Um, but Meta owns it, which is unfortunate. However, Meta has a lot of open source development, so it's kind of a catch 22 when it comes to. I don't really want to support Daddy Zuck, but it's the
Daddy's up.
easiest platform to develop for at the moment
Mhm.
because it also plays nice with Steam VR. So if I wanted to do like PC development and then test and port that way, I can do
Mhm.
it that way. And that's the big kicker is any headset I use would have to support Steam VR. So,
Got a lot of integrating to do.
yes and no. I just gotta like once I create the space, I think the rest of it will be easy, right? Creating individual spaces you can walk into and talk privately with people or mics and things like that. It'll be just turning on and off things. Because like I said, I think a lot of the tracking aspect is built into the headset. You just kind of have to tell the sensors what to do.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. I got a lot of learning to do, but that's what I love about coding is so much of it is open source and there are other developers out there that want to help build different things and
You go to ChatGPT now and have it write you code.
yeah, it's just I want to do something with my engineering skills that also helps my fitness space and that was something that came to mind that I could do. A lot of fitness
Yeah.
people talk about how apps are not worth the game, but they have to pay developers to do it. I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to make money off of it. I'm just trying to make my client experience better.
Right.
So, in the sense that people like the app and like the idea and are willing to get into the VR headspace,
So
then
if it
we can
gets
talk.
popular enough to where like you cap out like on number of clients, well for yourself, but wouldn't you have to turn it into a business where you have multiple?
So, me capping out on one would be different than the server of my app capping out, right? If
Well,
I
no, I know.
wanted
I'm not talking about that. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to think.
if I wanted to sell the app to other
That's what I mean. You'd have to make like
coaches,
a free version, right? You'd have to sell it,
it would never be free. It would always be subscription based. Um
right?
because they would basically be creating their own similar to the way my current app works, right? I have a coach version of the app and then there's the client version of the app. Because of
Yeah.
the fact that you can customize it with your own logos, your own clients, it's like a mini I don't want to say mini server because that's not the right word, but like a
No.
mini platforms for each individual subscriber.
Yeah.
And that's how
So
mine would have to work as well.
I figured. Okay. But like first it's just for you and then you'd expand it to be able to be used by
If
others.
I expand it,
If
it would have to have interest for me to expand it because then
that's
I would
fair.
have to hire developers. I wouldn't be able to
That's
do it
fair.
for everybody by myself.
Yeah.
When I'm just fucking around with it, it's my own experiment. It's one thing, but if I'm putting
Yeah.
it out for other people to use, I would
I'm just, you would have to
optimize it
hire.
as much as possible with real developers.
Yeah, I was gonna say you'd have to hire some people. So that's a lot
um
on just your plate.
well, yes, it's a lot on my plate, but also when it comes to software development, I'm a hack job. I know enough to do stuff for myself,
Make it good
but I'm
enough.
not formally trained in any way, shape, or form. And to create the stability something like that would need for more users than like 50,
Mm-hmm.
which would be kind of a high level place for me.
Mm-hmm.
um I'm expecting this to be used by like 20 people at most, right? If I had to expand it so that multiple coaches were using it for multiple sets of clients and each coach has different levels of needs, right? They could need 50 clients to be on it, they could need 200 clients to be on it, depending on are they low ticket
Yeah.
coaches, are they high ticket coaches, are they trying to do just their one-on-one in this environment, are they trying to do all of their coaching in this environment? Are they trying to run challenges in this environment so that they'll
I think
have
you'd have to pick
random trickle
first.
ins?
Have to pick one first.
Well, a lot of the coaching apps, even the one I use, have like features that are microtransactions basically. If you want to automate some of your tasking as a coach, you can pay a little bit extra
Mm-hmm.
every month for it. If you want to add more clients,
Extra
you pay more for
capabilities.
it. Right? The
Yeah,
bigger
okay.
it gets, the bigger your app gets, the more you have to pay on a lot of the coaching platforms. And the same would be for mine, right? If you're wanting
Makes sense.
5 to 10 clients, then you would pay X amount for your subscription to this app that I'm building.
Got it.
But again, the fitness space is kind of funny when it comes to VR. Some love it, some hate it. It's the same thing with AI. Some love it, some hate it. I don't
Don't hate
foresee.
AI. Hate the people who use it. Okay?
Well, it's more like there's AI coaches coming into the game, and a lot of the fitness coaches are like, you'll never get what you need out of that, but people are
Oh
going to
god,
believe that
no.
AI is the mastermind, and it is
No.
useful to help analyze data. It is not a coach.
No, it's not.
So, yeah, I want to build an app that's also kind of a video game for my
Do it.
clients.
Do it.
Um and then eventually like partner with Meta and things like that so that I can get headsets for cheap.
Yeah.
Cuz
Yeah, I was
I don't
gonna
want to
say, like, you giving out headsets to your clients, that's gonna get real expensive, girl.
I mean, a lot of coaches do like gifts and stuff. They'll do like $100 gift card to Starbucks or like starting things, like starting packs. I have sent like full like band starter packs to people that wanted to do stuff at home but wanted to expand past body weight. Like I've sent gifts. I bought you your Apple Watch. This is not that uncommon for
I
coaches.
earned it.
You earned
I
it,
earned it though.
but I'm saying like coaches do gifts and stuff like that all the time. It would
Yeah.
just be kind of a, or some coaches will add lab testing. You sign on, you go do your lab testing. I'll look at all your results and then we'll create your prescription. And I do want to do that eventually in the future. I just have to partner with a lab. It's that same concept. My
Yeah.
prices would go up. I'm not just gifting headsets for no reason. Um,
Obviously.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect them, like I wouldn't build an app, right? This is my new platform to train. This is where all your programming is going to be. This is where all your macros are going to be. And I'm just like visualizing like uh being in VR and being able to see like your pie chart of everything and like your metrics and stuff like live spatial in front of you.
Mhm.
That would be cool for me.
Yeah, that would be cool.
And the headset controller, right? A lot of the headsets have hand tracking now, so you don't even need the controllers. So it feels less like a video game console and more like an interactive experience because they have
Mhm.
hand tracking and stuff now.
Yeah.
But if you were to do your workout with the controllers, they have heart rate sensors in them. So you can have like your calories burned, and they have a little like Move app already in Meta that I can integrate into it. So it's like an Apple Watch, but
Oh.
in your headset.
Ooh.
Or you can sync this stuff to your headset too if you have that stuff. Just like I could to my normal like iOS app, you can sync all of that to your and log in at the end of the day and see everything. But then I would also cross develop an iOS app so that you have all your data on your phone on the go with you that then syncs to the VR when you want to come talk to me, hang out with other people in VR, that kind of thing.
Oh god.
So
So
it's not
communicate.
just one location because no one wants
Right.
to wear a headset all around all the
No,
day.
you'll have a backup location, which is essentially your would your app be the backup
It'd
location?
be an iOS
Yours?
app, yeah. It'd be
The
mine.
coaches would be the backup, whereas the client, it just backs up
Syncs.
to yours. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Following.
Well, so I would move off of like the app that you used when we were coaching together. That would go away. I would have my own iOS app
Right.
that syncs
Yeah.
to my VR app kind of thing.
Yeah.
It would all be integrated.
Yes.
That
I
is
follow.
very complicated data flow, but yeah. Or because Meta has like its own iOS app, right? You could have your data sync from your headset to that. I could play it that way too, where you just have to have the Meta app and you can see all your
You know,
stats.
you're explaining all these things and like it's great, but you know how do you know how much coding it's gonna be?
Yes, but I enjoy doing that kind of stuff. And again, I don't have a timeline, right? This is just an
I
idea.
guess
I
you
want to see
don't,
if
but
I can
that's
do
fine.
it. I have things that work for me now. I just want to
Such a
see.
huge project. It's a
It
huge
is, but
project.
it's a fun project.
Okay, so what how are you going to fit it in your schedule?
You don't realize how much time I have,
No, I don't.
especially lately because of the crazy hours my husband has been working.
Oh, you're right. Cuz like you get so much work done when he's not there.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
get so much done when he's not here. Also,
Mhm.
like once I catch up, right? I've found kind of the rhythm with long form stuff that works, especially now that I have the two computers, right? I can be at letting this render on the Mac and work on long form like gaming videos
Mhm.
on the PC that don't require
Yes.
rendering that take 5 days.
Yes.
So I can edit in two places, which is nice now because that was part of my problem. I got behind on my fitness long forms because I had the podcast rendering and I couldn't do
No.
anything else with my editing software.
Mm-mm. It don't
Um
like it.
so now that I have, it's not even like the computer doesn't like it. I could do like I could record, but I couldn't edit because I couldn't open another project
Yeah,
in
instant.
DaVinci.
Yeah.
So
Could be a whole
now that
other
I have the
instance.
two, I can record everything I need to record, like intros, outros, edit, do whatever I need to do for like gaming videos, for just regular YouTube videos, vlogs, whatever on the PC. I don't love doing it because my coloring is so much better on my Mac. I need to get new monitors, I think,
Mhm.
but I can do those videos at least while the podcast is rendering and keep up with both things. Because realistically, the long
It's going to be
edit
so fun
process with the podcast is
for
just
you,
the
not
mask
me.
out render. The long edit process with the podcast is the mask out render. I can clip it down, like I can do all the cuts and things in like 30 minutes now. That part's easy. Well, not if I knew exactly where they were when I went to edit, I could do it in 30 minutes. But I usually have to listen to it back because I don't remember where we needed to cut things.
Oh,
So
yeah.
what I do with the podcast is I do one full listen, right? I do all of the like dead space or doxing or any like massive cutouts that we need to do, and while I'm doing that, I put time markers in so that if we're putting assets in, like with the Epic Universe episode, the D23 episode, those
Yep.
episodes, I can go in and put those assets in after I'm done doing all the cuts real quick because I have them all in my media pool. Just throw them in, make them nice and lined up, and then I can start the render because all of the clips are now generated and it's easy to do the render from there.
Yeah.
So I've kind of figured out the rhythm with that one. It just took me 2 or 3 episodes to figure it out. uh, it was a new tool. It was a new kind of environment. We weren't doing assets before. We weren't
Mm-mm.
really doing
Well, we
much
tried.
editing other than cutting. So I figured out a new way to do it.
Yay. And it
To make
works.
it more YouTube friendly, to just make it more branded, to just everything. But
Mhm.
I like this stuff. My biggest issue is I get into paralysis when I have a lot to do because I don't know what I want to start
Oh, yeah. Well, just research.
with. And like the research and stuff, right? If I'm listening to like what platforms people are using and things, like I can listen to that stuff on YouTube while I'm doing like regular work stuff too, which I do a lot of now that I have the PC and can just
Mhm.
press a button to switch between the two.
That's Sorry, that's so nice.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I have
You
a
have a lot of
lot,
things that are you have a lot of things going on in your brain.
but I
Always though.
like it feeling
You
fired
are
up.
manic. Oh my god.
I'm
This
not
is what you were
manic.
talking about.
Because if I was manic, I would be obsessed with needing to clean my house right now. Because it is a
Yeah, okay.
disaster.
Fair. No, this one's more of a ADHD, hyperfixation, like, ooh, shiny, I found something new to do.
It's not even new. It's things that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. Right? I know I'm gonna have to buff up my software skills for the new job, and that just helps
Mm-hmm.
do some of these other things.
True.
Um, so honestly, I think watching modded content, right? I've been watching a lot of Among Us mods. I've been watching a lot of Super Mario Odyssey mod players. That kind of stuff really kind of sparked my interest again of, oh, this is cool stuff you can do with games. And having a PC that I can actually do that stuff too. I finally pulled the trigger
Mm-hmm.
on this PC that I've been looking at for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And this is way more PC than I will ever need. Let's be real. Especially because I play like little nothing games. I don't have anything
You
graphic
say that
intensive,
now.
but
You say that now. Oh, just wait. Oh, just wait.
the graphics card will come in handy when I'm building VR stuff. Absolutely, no doubt, because that
Yes.
environment is going to be very render heavy.
Yes.
The power, but I did build this with the intent of doing VR development. So,
Mm-hmm. No, it'll be fine, but I'm just saying over the years you're gonna see.
well, yeah,
I'm
obviously,
gonna
as
have to
new
keep
things
adding
come
to
out,
it.
I'm gonna want to swap parts and upgrade and things like that. But for right now, this
It's good.
is
No, it's perfect.
a lot of PC.
Yes. It's a lot.
For
That's why I
not
said
a
for
lot,
now. For now.
but I don't know. I feel like an engineer again, not so much like
Aww.
a not code monkey, but like a secretary.
Yeah.
I don't know what it
Yeah.
is, but I get really annoyed when people ask me as an engineer to be like, go set up this website. Like, go get us an access to this. And I'm like, why?
Go
Why
get
is that my
bent.
job?
Go
I
get
don't know.
bent.
I feel like systems engineering specifically gets the like dirty hand sometimes. They're like, yeah, you get to edit all of the slides for the presentation because you're systems and you're responsible for this. I'm like, why am I formatting all of the slides? Why is this my job? That kind of
I don't
thing.
know. I like doing that actually. To be
I hate
honest,
that stuff.
I make
I hate it.
I make bomb ass slides.
I
I'm
like
so good
being
at
in
presentations.
control of it because then I can control what it looks like and we don't look like idiots. I
Yeah.
don't love doing everybody else's because people didn't follow rules.
Oh yeah. No. Okay. I understand that one. Yes. Follow.
I like being in control of the format. I don't like doing the formatting of everybody else, which I've had to do a
Fair.
lot in my career. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, same actually. No, I think I was. Other than Dragon Lady, because she asked us to do things all the time that was stupid, and I made
agreed.
presentations for her. But
Agreed.
the most recent one was actually really funny that my manager had me. It was just like one or like 3 slides to fix, and it was all about like mindset and attitude in the
Oh
workplace.
god, I hate that stuff. Anyways,
I was
I
like,
don't.
let's talk to it. I got this. I
I
love
hate.
communication.
I hate when people are like, just have a positive mindset. Well, if I could do that, Karen, I wouldn't be on fucking medication. I don't know. If I could control what my brain does, like, let's be real.
I could barely control what my face looks like, so
Yeah, like, I'm sorry. If I can control my chaotic ass fucking brain, maybe I would be out of corporate America by now, but I can't control this chaos and I'm learning to control it, but it takes me a long ass time to learn to control it.
I don't know if the
So,
control is the correct word.
oh, it is for me.
I
I
feel
have
like
to
it's
put
more
a fucking
leverage.
jail cell on this chain chomp.
Oh, oh, That's an
My brain
interesting set
reminds
of
me of
words.
my brain reminds me of Chain Chomp from Mario, where it's on a chain, but it's like yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, that got
That
it.
that is my brain. But if you put him in
I didn't
jail, he
know that
can't
was.
go anywhere.
It was called Chain Chomp.
Yeah, he's called Chain Chomp.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know he had a name.
Yeah, he
That's
has a
cute.
name. But if I could put, my brain needs a nanny at all times, and sometimes I don't want to nanny my brain. Sometimes I want to let it just run all the fuckery and see what happens.
Okay. I mean, you do you. You do you, boo. You do you, boo. I'ma stick to my meds. Where I'm just a little bit of sprinkle chaos still, but like I can
Yeah, but
function.
even on meds, I'm a lot chaos, a lot fuckery. Like, it
No, I mean,
just
yeah, okay, so
needs to
that's
be
the thing, like
more focused
the
ish.
yeah, I don't know how to explain the meds. It's hard to explain the meds because when you have it, like you're still kind of fuckery, right? You're still chaotic a little bit.
Like,
But
I'm
like
on
you're
med
able
right
to hone it.
now.
Hmm?
I'm on meds right now.
I mean, same.
So,
I mean,
like,
yes, same. But like I don't know. I don't know, man.
my brain, my best way
I feel
to
like it works different for everybody.
the best way to describe my brain on meds, my recall is a lot better. I will give credit where credit is due. My recall is a lot better. I can walk into a
Oh,
room.
yes.
I will
No,
still
you're right.
forget why I walked into the room, but I will remember it a lot sooner than after I've
No,
left
you're
the
right.
room.
You're so right. That is accurate.
That's one thing I've noticed significantly.
Super
But the other
accurate.
thing is the gremlins are silent. I don't talk to myself as much.
Oh, I see.
Because like sometimes I have to talk to myself to process through things when I'm not on meds, but I don't have to do that. Like I can kind of create a linear thought line of what I
I
need
can
to
too, but
do.
I can sometimes.
Executing
I'm
is a
trying to
different
think.
story entirely, but I can create the thought line, which is something I can't do when I'm unmedicated.
So, okay, so here's the thing with me. Like, it's it's still chaotic in my brain, but I'm able to actually put it into words and type it out and actually brain vomit onto something and organize it. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it's
I
just brain
guess.
vomit that I'm like, I don't know where to start.
But
And
like
I get the paralysis.
when I say the gremlins are silent, I mean I don't have a rock song going through my head at all times. And I'm not trying to bang out a drum solo while also trying to code at the same time. And it's
You're
very
right.
silent. And that's
You're
the
right.
part that I never understood before being medicated. Is I didn't realize that's not normal. Like I
No.
genuinely thought everyone had bees in their head all the time.
No.
Like, well, okay, I started to realize it when my husband started to call me out on it. And I don't say this as like a bad thing. Like he just called me out because this is what he does. Like he lovingly be like, "What the fuck, bro?" We would be in
You okay?
conversation and I would just bring up something really random because something
Mm-hmm.
he said reminded me of something else that then reminded me of something else, or I'll
Me something
randomly
else.
laugh
The
because I
string.
followed
Yes.
a 30-second brain thought that no one else knew what I was doing in my
Okay.
head.
Okay, but I do that on the podcast when you're talking and I'm like, I don't know what she's saying anymore because my brain's gone somewhere else.
Well, it's not even
I'm
that.
thinking about
It'll be like
something else.
like little like brain zap almost. Like I know brain
Yeah,
zaps is
where
a
it like
different
just
thing
zaps
entirely,
to
but
one thing, to another thing, to another thing, and then like you're realizing I'm not in the present moment anymore.
it's not even like I process what he's saying in the present moment, but my brain has also gone to
Oh,
something else entirely.
no, I
And
can't
then
do
it will
both.
change the subject entirely, and he'll be like, "What the hell? How did those two things correlate?" And 9 times out of 10, he doesn't want to actually know the thought process of how I got there. He just is confused how I got there.
Yeah,
but
that's fine. I'm even confused. We got to wrap up though.
yeah, we do. I know. I saw the time. But yeah, I'm building an app. I
Yay!
haven't started it yet, but I'm gonna start probably this weekend. Honestly, depends on what I'm doing this weekend. As it's like once I get past horror nights is when things start to kind of like slow down on the
Calm down.
weekends, at least for me,
Yep.
so that I have some time
Mhm.
on the weekends. But I also have a lot of time during the week right now. Anyways, I can speed talk. So if you need some health and fitness help and you want to be a part of the initial app development, I guess, because you might be a guinea pig if you're a client by the time I get something ready, um please reach out to me at it's Coach Casey on just about everything. You can join the Chaos Realm Discord, which is linked in the show notes below, as well as find us at Engineering Chaos Pod on everything. I am getting more like clips and content and funny things, and she's coming to town soon. I lost that part of the audio of the last episode, so yeah, she's coming to town, and we're gonna be able to record together a few things like TikToks and stuff. So yay, look forward to that. Actually, by the time this episode comes out, you might have already been here. I'm not really sure. Anyways, that is all for this week. And yeah, goodbye.
Bye.